All right, so this is another of those back on the bucking bronco deals, and I'm really not quite sure what to make of it. I got absolutely creamed in real time. I mean, I crashed and burned. Can't hide it, don't want to hide it. It was just a complete and utter disaster because I hit the 100,000 limit, could not get out of the shit, and finally just gave up and transcribed everything over to the worksheet, which has algae running on one tab, and then sort of my mistakes and screw ups and all the rest of it on the online tab. Algae basically pissed through the whole session, exactly the same outcomes, obviously, and delivered a sort of like suspended situation because when I left, it was standing at about 1800 behind. So there was a sort of a terrible losing streak right at the very end, which means, of course, that when I put this set of results into the same worksheet, algae will recover that and move on to, well, I think I've made my point anyway, but just odd, very odd. And the lesson, of course, is that what I need to do is to pay more attention to losing streaks. I have to figure out a way to be able to track them without slowing me down too much. So I'll work on that. That's a double. It's a good start. That's one of the things that will sort algae out next time. Oh, maybe not. All right, so that's 51. And repeat it. There you go. That would be enough to turn algae around, or will be, because that's what I'm about, is just tracking all this stuff, keeping an honest tally of everything, and presenting it to you folks out there for you to dismiss as nonsense or do with what you will. 51. God, it was awful. I don't know where I went off the rails. It was awful. 2-3. Good. Back to the men. Double for the loss. And I know I do make mistakes. I think we all do that. That was double for the push. 2-3, I think. Nice 22 up there. Well done. But yeah, I'm going to have to find a fix for that because it was just awful. When I say find a fix for it, what I mean is, I've got to find a way to track a really bad losing streak and then run away from it, which I'm not doing right now. I mean, when I can get the money together, I'm going to sort of just go out and find a brilliant programmer and just get a fantastic blackjack sim. Just like a real table, 6 spots for the loonies who like to bet multiples and all that sort of stuff. But in the meantime, I mean, this is the best around, I think. That's like 1-2, I think. Oh, well done, perfect. Always nice to beat the dealer by 1, Oh dear. All right, that's got to be 2-3. 5-6. Double. Oh yeah, just great. Double for the loss. One, 1, 2. Oh yeah, 3, 4. See, at this stage, it's easy to track the number of losses because this is just a process. This is a sequence that. Oh, that was a nice one. So we don't have to worry about that one anymore. Lots of activity outside here. I don't know what that's about. Don't worry about it. Sorry. Completely meaningless in the context of what we're doing here. All right, that's 1, 2. Oh! 3, 4. This could be expensive. No, it wasn't. Look at that. That's absolutely perfect. 23. Lovely. I'm feeling much better already after that last thing. See, now this to me is a double, but there are lots of basic strategy things that say nope. I can see why. All right, 51. 2, 3. Oh, that was terrible. 5, 6. Yeah, I'm catching all the right moments, the right ones. Thought he was going to do me in there. And I know there's not a he out there. I get it. The wizard himself is not actually running this. It's just I like to sort of humanize. What's it called? Anthropomorphizing or something. Something odd like that. 1, 2. Oh, perfect. Back to the men. Getting very well treated right now, that's for sure. +1. +1. Blimey. +1. Blimey. And we keep just repeating that until our luck runs out. Oh, there it is. Okay, back to the minimum. Doing pretty damn well on this one now. +1. Plus another one. Getting some jammy bloody pulls, that's for sure. And the whiz is catching crap. Keep it up. Uh-oh. All right, 1, 2. That's pretty aggressive, I'll admit that. And some people have remarked on that. But, oh, Jesus. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Nope. Clear and back to the min. Win it, then min it. Never forget it. +1, yeah, we're getting in all our own way right now. I mean, it's just Okay, here's where the real wheels come off. All right, 51. Repeat. Double. Crazy. Minimum. Double for the loss. Double down. Oh, perfect. That's a clear and minimum. We're going to run out of shoe now, I think. There we go. All right, moving into the next one. Double for the loss. 1, 2. 3, 4. Ouch. 7, 8. 15, 8 dropped to 3. This is a different shoe altogether, isn't it? 15, 8, 12, 8, which we'll call 3, 2 in 500s. Oh dear. 5, 4 in 500s. All right, now we're going to go 5, 6 in 500s. The way that works is that, and if you've been here before, you'll know this, but our response to a push is to double until the bet exceeds 100. The only exception is if you can go from 5, 4 to 5, 6, for instance, then you will jump on that. So we're on a turnaround bet and we're crossing our fingers and toes and various other extremities. 5, 6, hoping for the best. That was nice. And then some prat out there is going to say, well, obviously he knew it was coming. Double for the loss. 1, 2 again. Now that was a really nice natural, wasn't it? Back to the min. Less 1. You know, it's just a simple fact. There is no arguing with it. You know, if you bet flat or randomly, and if you suffer the consequences of negative expectation, which everybody will, including me and you, when you decide to take up pattern betting, you know, if you bet flat or randomly and you lose more bets than you win, you will be murdered. And I just watched a little bit of another degen dolt thing where he gets his ass kicked. I mean, what is the matter with that boy? Damn it. That's a bitch, isn't it? Okay, so we double for the push. And now we're on 2, 3, I think. 5, 6. 11, 6 dropped to 3. 14, 6. 17, 6. Oh, come on. Is that 26? I think it might be. All right, so 17, 6, which I think we're going to call 4, 2 in 500s. Okay, 6, 4 in 500s. We're struggling now. 17, So now we got to go. We go 6-4. So now we're going to go to 6-7. That's no bloody use, is it? Look at that. 13, 14. So I've got to run away from here. Hang about. Got to run away from here. 13, 14, which is 7-8, isn't it? All right, so we're back. We're middle roller now, and the bet is 8. Damn it. That's not good. Yeah, it is. All right. So, so we got our 8. So now we have to go back again to the cheap seats. All right. So we're back at the cheap tables. And yeah, you know, there just is, there can't be any argument about it. And yet, by golly, people come at me from time to time. Not so much lately, I must say. But okay, so that's 51. That's a double, I think. Oh dear. 3-4. Nasty. That's what I like to see. All right, back to the min. Where are we at? We're at 16 minutes, so I'll take this to the end of this shoe. Double for the push. Uh, 51. Repeat. Back to the min. Was that a win? I'm going to call it a loss because I got confused there. Ah, that was well timed, wasn't it? Back to the min. +1. 51. Repeat. Double. Nicely done. Back to the min. Oi! That deserved a lot better, didn't it? Not that there was too much money on the table. That looks like 1-2 to me. I think that gets us out of trouble, so back to the min. Win it. You know how it goes. Double for the loss. And repeat it. Boom. Oh, very cheeky. +1. +1. That's a nifty one too. +1. That's a repeater for the push. Oh, that was clever. I think that's 125, isn't it? Good gracious. Okay, do it again. I think we chased that one. All right, that's 3-4. Double. Oh, ouch. I think we better do 1, 11, 12 and then think on it. Ouch. 23, 12 and the drop is 5. 28, so we'll call that 30, 15 and keep going. So 6, 3 in 500s. All right, so that's good. So 4.5. Can we do 4.5, 5? We actually can't. So I'm going to have to run away from here. You can't let the casinos tell you how much to bet. Okay, the next bet per the strategy is 5,000. So we're going to go in search of somewhere where we can place that bet. All right, so the bet is 5,000. 4, 5. All right, well, I think we'll call that the end, because it is the end. We're at 22 minutes, and I'm not sure what the win is, but it's quite a lot. I think probably in the region of 11,000. 22 mins, 11,000-ish. BJ. All right. Okay. So we did all right. It's, and if you stop and think about this, and I know that not many people going to the gambling channels are thinking people. They're sort of like very much into gambling, and they're into the excitement of it and the jeopardy and the thrills and the so-called complimentary cocktails and the staying up all night and getting really stupid. And that's their thing, and they're entitled to that. It's fine. I mean, the only problem that I have with what I saw in all the years that I lived in Nevada and played in casinos is the people who quite evidently were not playing with their own money. Some of it certainly might be, but even it was family money, it was whatever. And I saw some particular disasters. I mean, really awful. Where I mean, there was one guy in particular who lost a fantastic business. He lost his house, he lost his business. Miraculously, he didn't lose his family. His wife stayed with him. His wife and kids stayed with him, but they made him promise that they were going to move to a state where there was no gambling, and they would start over somehow. But that was awful. But there were many, not as bad as that, but pretty much like that, and people destroyed, sobbing, other people getting angry, getting drunk, turning over tables, threatening dealers, reaching out to grab them, reaching out to grab money from the dealers' tray. Oh, it just, it went on and on and on. And then you've got the likes of Vegas Matt pretending that all they're doing is providing entertainment and excitement and interest and so on. And that's not what it is. It's drawing people into a business which is bloody deadly. So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, next up will be an Excel analysis of this lot, and it's certainly much better than the last thing, that's for sure. All right then, so this is the latest session, today's session at whenever the hell it was, 1 o'clock on Saturday the 23rd. Pretty much standard, I mean, it's a bumpy ride, which is what these games provide all the time. And it's these bits that wipe out the tin pot sort of shoestring bloody wimpy bankrolls that most people take to these games. Just going from here, which is that's 12 all the way down to 2. So that's, falling 10 bets behind there and then flying up again. And then I think you get the picture. I mean, this is how it is. This is how it frequently is. And obviously, I'm happy to see a player edge of 6.3% being boosted 5 times to a player edge of 32.3%. And you see down here that given a 6.3% actual value, you multiply that by the total action, and you get an indicated, suggested, or probable outcome if you were betting randomly, or more significantly, flat betting all the way to this average bet value. Then you would end up with a win of 2,500, and instead we got 12,800 because we bet WINtelligently. And that's the big deal. Now, this is the point that I'm not so happy about, because before I show you the rest of this, I have to go to the last session, the one that I haven't provided the horrible sort of blow-by-blow video on, because it's just so ridiculous. This is what happened here. This was a couple of days ago, and it was just awful. And the reason it was just awful was that I was just basically reduced to gibberish by I hit the table limit, and then at the same time hit an absolutely awful run, which, because I couldn't increase the bet, just in the end I just got fed up with it. I just thought, okay, I'm not going to try this anymore, because at 6 bets behind, no chance. I've got a line in here which is the GAG opt, which is where I would have dropped out if I'd been paying proper attention. And I'm offering this right now in the spirit of transparency and honesty and openness and all the rest of it. And I don't feel particularly good about it, I've got to tell you, because it's just it's embarrassing is what it is. But I've got to figure out a way of tracking the number of
I'm
wins.
not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Sorry about that. I've got to find a way of tracking the different fluctuations while I'm playing in real time at blackjack. I get that assistance from the baccarat sim. It just shows me all the time, so I'm on top of it because I'm being told what the situation is. Here, I just basically lost track, and I would have been out here. I would have just run away. And it's interesting to see what would have happened if I'd run away down here, and then I'd have a 20,000 win here, and then the next bet would be much bigger and would catch a natural, and boom, boom, boom. It's turnaround. But I can't make that argument very successfully, because I made a stupid decision, which was to just stick with it and see how far it would go. And I've done that a few times with baccarat as well, which is why my summary for the 200 and whatever the hell it is, 2,600 something like that shoes to date shows a negative value, whereas my friend Mo in California, who is an absolute ace at pattern betting and is a baccarat freak. He plays 2 or 3 times a week, and he does pretty well. He rises and falls, but he's waiting like me for the big windfall before he proceeds, because he's learned several times. Taking his bankroll up to sort of 70,000-80,000 and then suddenly getting wiped out. He's now accepted the fact that without a huge bankroll, you can't beat these games. And it's what the casinos count on. They count on panic, they count on small bankrolls, they count on stupidity, they count on drunkenness, tiredness, emotional, blah, 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 whatever. And they play us like a cheap banjo, basically. They know us better than we know ourselves, as the cliche goes. So that's the story. Not a pretty picture, this one, but going back down to this last time, we had average win 512, average loss 281, average win over average loss 182%. This is the kind of thing that you see all the time. And the most extraordinary thing about the session that I just showed you, the embarrassment, was that when Algae, the algorithm, played it exactly the same outcomes, obviously, which is always the way I do it, wasn't a big deal. I mean, it was a struggle, because it was a shit set of outcomes, but it was not a disaster. Whereas in real time, it was horrible. Anyway, what else have we got going on here? We've got 32.3%. I've shown you the indicated, so that's fine. Go down to the bottom here, and we get a repeat of all that information. 6.5 player edge in the end, 32.3%. So we bumped that up by nearly 5 times. What else? 53 wins, 51 losses. So that's where the edge came. And then naturals helped that to increase to 63.5 to 56. So thank you, naturals. I appreciate it very much. Let's go back. No, let's go to pattern betting now. And what we get with pattern betting is pretty much the same story. It's not as dramatic with the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't respond quite as in the same way as I do. And I'm not saying I'm right. It's much more likely that the algorithm is right, but the algorithm does not respond in the same way that I do. So the 6.3% player edge was bumped up to just shy of 10%. Still good. The indicated win here is higher, nearly 6,000, because the action was much greater. Average win over average loss is 131%, which is still good, but not as good as 184 or whatever it was before the other one. And the other thing to look at here is what algae did in the previous thing, which was such an absolute disaster. Algae came out with 11.4% instead of the upchuck, the situation that I had when I hit the 100,000 table limit. And this is something you need to keep in mind at all times. Once you get to the table limit, you're in trouble because you can't recover fast enough, and that's precisely why the table limit exists. And all these lying bastards out there who keep sort of saying, well, of course, progressive betting's no good. The martingale is stupid. The martingale is suicidal. You know, the shills, the Vegas Mats and the rest of them who keep on trashing, bad-mouthing progressive betting. They're doing it because that's what the casinos tell them to do, because the casinos know full well that progressive betting is the only thing that can beat them. And when you think about it logically, mathematically, sensibly, you can't really argue against that. It is a simple fact, that if you bet flat or randomly, and if at the same time you lose more bets than you win, then you're going to be screwed in the same way that Degen Dolt, doing yet another terrible, bleak session at Hard Rock Hollywood, the guitar or whatever, demonstrated. It's, if you just sit there and you bet like a twerp, you're going to lose your money, And he just keeps proving it over and over again, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm getting quite fond of the lad, to be honest. Not in a creepy way, I promise you, but just I like that group. I like the work that Kyle does, because he makes life very much easier for me when I'm tracking Dalton's action, and his buddies around him, his girlfriend and his cousin and his the ones I don't like are the casino hosts, because they don't really give a damn about him. What they care about is the free publicity that they're getting, the fact that they're able to work around laws across the USA and across the UK and across the world against advertising gambling. They get around that because nobody is caught up with the fact that YouTube is breaking the rules wide open. But anyway, that session that slaughtered me, the previous session came out as an 11.4 for the robot. Going back down to algae, the current set, decent, not fantastic, but decent. And then we go down to online reality, and oops, I get into trouble with this screen recorder every once in a while. Okay, back down to there. So you can see, I mean, it was a dramatically successful session for me playing in real time. The other thing I always like to look at, and I hope you do too, is double or drop, which, as I'll say it again, I'm not specifically recommending it, but I must admit that I'm warming to it because it's running at 12.5%, and it never seems to waver from that. I mean, it just keeps on trucking. It keeps on making money. Currently 12.5%, and pattern betting is at 10.8%. DOD double or drop is running at 52% of pattern betting's total action and 61% of the win. So that's good. Double or drop is running with a average win of 732, average loss of 520. So that's 141%. And to all you people out there who say it isn't possible to win more when you win than you lose when you lose, unless you have crystal balls, well, all I can say to you folks is you're daft. Pattern betting's average win over average loss is 138%, which is nearly as good, except the bets are twice as much. So that's the diff there. And let's go back down again, online latest, and then up to pattern betting's latest, which maybe will show up correctly. Yes, it did. It's always a nice surprise when Excel does what I want it to, because sometimes it's not been that great lately. But anyway, there's the story. We're current. We're up to date. The last session was a horror story, and I'm going to try to forget it now. But just remember, if you don't bet progressively, you cannot win. All right? No argument, no fuss. It's just logic, common sense, and arithmetic. And nobody can argue with that, not even Vegas Matt. And I don't think his smart friend, WPG, well, I'm kind of thinking he's smart because he's witty, and that tends to be the same thing. I don't think he'd argue with me. But anyway, those guys are in the business of losing professionally because that's what the casinos need them to do. And any pretense otherwise is a con trick. So try to keep that in mind, okay? Now I've got to deal with my... okay, I'm gone.